Hey guys, it's Maymay, and do you remember me telling you in the live show that I wanted to do a date night countdown to hang on my ladder, my blanket ladder that's in my bedroom that I decorated for Christmas? I think this is a cute idea. I'm going to be using the Holidays collection from Simple Stories. I just think it'll be adorable. So let me show you what we're going to do. I'm going to be making these little bags that will hang, and we will write notes and put inside the bag to tell us what our date night will be, okay? So here's what you're gonna need to get started. So with your scoreboard and a piece of cardstock that is 8.5 by 6.5, that's how I'm starting. We're gonna need to make some score marks, okay? So our first score mark is going to be at 3 inches, at 4 inches, at 7 inches, and at 8.5 inches. So that is all of your score marks here. Also, don't worry if you didn't catch those. We'll have a blog post linked in the description with all the measurements for you. Next, we're gonna turn it sideways and we're gonna score it at 1.5 and at 5.5. Now, something that is important for you to know is this. 1.5 is the top of your bag. The 1/2 inch or the 1 inch that we left at the bottom is the bottom of your bag, okay? Top of your bag, bottom of your bag. So now we'll take that off. Now I'm making 6 of these. I feel like 6 date nights is a lot of date nights as it is for the month of December. We may not get through all 6. If we don't, we can carry them over into January. But if you want to do more of these, you can. And if you want to use this for something else, you can. However, what I'm going to do right now is crease all of our score lines, all of them. The ones that go this way and the ones that go that way. I think it is important that we work on our marriage. I think that, you know, sometimes we can get kind of complacent. We need to date each other. We need to have that fun time together. And at Christmas especially, we think so much about everybody else that as a couple, sometimes we forget to spend time with each other like we should. And I think this will be a cool way to do that. What I'm going to do, like I said, is I'm making 6 of these. So I will get 3 and Vince will get 3. And we get to design our date, you know, ever how we want our date to be. So I think it'll be cute. It may be TMI for you guys, but look, if you're married, you should do this kind of stuff. You should do it. Now, one thing I just noticed, I kind of scored this one wrong because I want this to be the outside. So pay attention to that. If you want the outside to be this side, you'll want to turn everything under. It really doesn't matter as long as these 2 flaps are going in the right direction. Let me just do that real quick. All right, we got to cut some things away. Before we start cutting, you need to pay attention. The top is the 1.5 inches, the bottom is the inch. And you're going to take your scissors. This flap we want to keep. We don't need this or this. And if you've watched me make a box before, you know that I will make all these cuts and then I'll lay it down for you to be able to see it. So let me get all the cuts done and then I'll show you. There's cut number 1. I'm going to leave that flap and then I'm going to do cut number 2. Now here's the thing, you guys always ask me, am I cutting in the ditch or am I cutting the score line away? How am I cutting? Today I'm cutting just to the side of the score line that cuts it away. Here anyway. We probably won't do that everywhere else, but here we are. Okay, let me turn this the right way. So this is the top, and that's the flap you want left. So you should have a 1 inch and a 1/2 inch here. Then you should have a 1 inch and a 3 inch here, okay? Now at the bottom, we're gonna do this. We're gonna slice up every line. We're gonna slice every score line to the first cross line. I think that makes sense. Let me do them and then you'll see. So each one of these gets snipped right up to where the score lines meet. And I'm cutting in the score lines here. Okay, so we've just separated these guys. That's all we've done. Now what we want to do is we want to come back to the side, and on this little guy right here, I want to angle this side. You can do this one of 2 ways. You can cut this away like so, okay, and then come back and angle this. Or you could just, with that flap still there, do this angle cut and it'll cut away all at one time. So you can do it either way. Then at the top up here, I want to do the same thing. On this 1/2 inch flap, I want to cut in and get rid of some of that bulk. So you see what I did there? Super easy. Now these little flappy guys, they're going to get in our way if we don't angle cut them. So on either side of them, I'm going to come in here and do this little angle cut. Now from experience, I want to tell you something. If you don't cut these away, let me show you what I mean. If you cut one like that and it doesn't fall off, do not grab it and pull it, because if you do, this paper will tear and you'll end up with like a separation there, okay? Grab it and very carefully take it off. If you need to cut it again, do that, but don't just grab it and kind of quickly go at it because it will tear your paper. And this is white core paper, so it'll show. All right, let me get my scraps put away. So here's what you got. Now remember, I want this pink on the inside. I'm gonna turn this around so I can work it better, okay? I want the pink on the inside. So what I'm gonna do is lay my 1/2 inch piece down, grab my art glitter glue, and glue this guy down. Just like so, okay? Then I'm gonna bring this side over, and if you fold it just right, you can just lay this guy into the glue, just like that. And while you're here and it's still wet, go ahead and fold this the other way, because if it needs to move a little bit or if it needs to give a little bit, it can do that in this motion better than it can if you let it dry, you know, if it's not where it needs to be. Okay, now this is the top. Let's do something really quick before we keep assembling. Let's grab our scallop punch. So this is my stub and scallop punch. I'm gonna use the scalloped edge, and at the flap at the top, I'm just gonna punch this. I just think it's cute. It makes the flap look a little dressy. And we're gonna tuck these little flaps in. We're gonna fold the back one down, okay? And then, how do we know it's the back one? The flap, this is the back side, okay? So you wanna fold that one down, and then add some glue. If you ever need a bag, this is a perfect one for any project. It doesn't have to be this. This is just a good one. Then you want to flip this guy over. Now, while you got it here, go ahead and square it up, okay? Use your fingers to square that up. And what I do is I stand it up, and I take my bone folder, and I just press it into place. You can rub it, as long as you rub from the sides to the middle, because of those little flaps are kind of loose in there. Just do it like that, and you're all closed. Now, at the top, what you want to do is take your fingers and push them in like that. That pushes it together, okay? And then this flap comes over the top. Isn't that cute? Now, I did this. You can do this too. I made myself a template one. This is my first one, okay? And I went ahead and I poked holes in it. And I did that freehand. I just held my crocodile and went, I want one here and I want one here. But on this one that was my template, what I did was I lined these guys up like so, held them together, took my memento pen and did a line inside it, or did a circle in there and a circle in there so that I would know where to punch. That worked really well for me. I didn't have to measure anything, just having that one little template. Then if you hold this guy shut and you grab your crocodile, I'm using the bigger hole because it's easier to thread. Punch where your little holes are. That's that. And then I will tie it with some twine. But before I do that, let's go ahead and do my decoration right here. So for my decoration, here's what I'm doing. I have these little doilies that are so stinking cute. And by the way, products are listed in the description below in all my videos. So if you just open the description, there'll be links, shoppable links where you can pick up the products I'm using. So I'm using a little doily. This is a 2-inch scallop circle. And then this little piece, we're gonna stamp and punch. Let me show you what we're gonna do here. So we have a stamp set that I love. Let me show you it real quick. So this set is called Countdown. And today I'm going to be using that little circle and all the numbers. And you can see I've already done the other ones. We're fixing to do number 1. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take some VersaFine and the circle from that set, the little dotted circle. I'm going to stamp that here. I'm going to stamp it kind of high, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to punch it out. So you want to make sure you leave enough room for your punch to fit around it, like so. Then I'm going to take the number 1. Ink this guy up, stamp him in the middle, and this will be date night number 1 right there. Isn't that cute? Okay, let me get my punch. Now the punch I'm going to use is my 1 3/4 punch, so 1 3/4, and I'm just going to hold this in my hand and put this in and just kind of eyeball center that, just like that. This is old school. Y'all remember this? I actually, when we designed the stamp set, I went completely old school. I wanted it to work just like this. Then I'm going to put some glue here. Place that down. And then I'm going to glue this to my doily right in the center. I think this is so fun. When's the last time, and you guys may be different than me, but when's the last time you made a craft project for you and your husband? Like, this is fun. Now, I'm nervous about his date nights. Lord only knows. I may end up at, who knows, a shooting range, or who knows where I end up. I won't end up in a deer stand. We'll have that. We'll agree to that because I don't do that. But he would love it, but I don't. Okay, so here we go. We take this, and what I did, I thought this was cute to have the little doily hanging off. The reason is this is going to hang from twine on my ladder. So I thought that'd be cute kind of hanging like that. So here's what I did. I put some glue right here and glued this guy down. I'm just going to press this into place. And the other thing I did was I laid this kind of on its face and stuck my hand in there to press that, just like that. Now all it needs is twine tied in those little holes. So when you push this guy together, you'll be able to thread your twine in. Now before you do this, you want to go ahead and write out the date night. And think of something fun. You know, Vince and I have a rule though. We set a rule when we talked about doing this. We can't ask each other to do something we know we would never do. Like I said earlier, he's not going to ask me to go get in a deer stand. He's not going to go against my principles or anything like that, even though that's his hobby. But if we wanted to do something like a movie together, or I don't know, I don't mind going to the shooting range. We have an axe throwing range here. Do you guys have those? Those are kind of fun too. Anything that fits the two of you that can be a memorable time for you would be super fun to put inside of here. And for me, it's a marriage box. It's going, you know, it's a marriage box. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, so it's a marriage date night. So there you go, guys. That is my idea of a fun little date night project for Christmas. So what I'll do is we'll insert a photo here so you can see what my ladder looks like with these hanging on it. And I'll also make sure I put it in the thumbnail. Now, you know the deal. If you make something like this, I want to see it. So head to our customer gallery and put a photo of your project, whatever it may be, onto our customer gallery. And if you need inspiration, there are more than 2,000 projects posted there with pictures and resources and ideas. You will love it. It's like our own personal Pinterest. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for being here today. And until next time, bye now.